Yes, now. How are we? Matt back with episode 10 of the Brentford series. Um, the last episode seemed to go down quite well. A few of you seem to like the scatter graphs that we used in terms of aiding the recruitment. So I think that is an avenue we're going to go down, maybe do some analysis based on that as well, using them. We can definitely look at that. But we've advanced quite far ahead now. We are up to the 10th of April 2022, and we are still fifth in the league, so it's still going okay. It's a bit of a mixed bag though, because if you look at it closer, there's a 22-point gap between us and Chelsea, and we've only got a +2 goal difference. We've only scored 46 goals, which is the 8th best in the league, and conceded 44, which is also the 8th best in the league. It's not great, to be honest with you. We sort of just gotta just gotta stick with it, to be honest. We've had a little look at the squad, and we identified in the last video areas of concern. One of them was the left back spot, and the next one was sort of like the advanced playmaker role. You can see Harris is on the bench. He's not really had the impact that we thought he was going to do. Don't get me wrong, like he's decent. He scored on his debut. He's not got a single assist, and when he's playing as like the advanced playmaker, and he's very technical like that. We thought he'd be getting a lot more, and it's just not the case. Whether again it's a case of him not gelling with the squad. Let's see. I'm not. He's a peripheral figure. I think that's more to do with it than anything else. But if we have a little look, I mean, shots per 90 minutes, he's getting a decent number of shots off. His XG is 2.19. He's got 2 goals. That's not too bad. He's not completing many passes, but he's got a decent level of key passes for someone who's played so little. Um, yeah, he's just not really gelled. The next person we signed, you saw we were going after Sosa, Bono Sosa. He turned us down. He signed a new contract which Stuttgart, which was annoying. So we went for the next best in terms of like an option for now, which was this guy, which was Anderson Lukoshi. I'm not entirely sure how you say it. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how you say it. Physically, he's a monster. He's for this level. He's not played many games. He is a squad player. He's sort of in rotation with Kande. But Rico Henry's sort of come in from the cold recently, and he's been performing really well. Rico, average rating wise, he's pushed himself right up there. He's creating chances. He's doing a lot of interceptions. Yeah, he's forced his way back in the first team. Um, so yeah, other than that, we signed two more people, both in the fullback position. Oddly enough, if we go to transfers and we look at the transfers in, this is a lot of youth players coming in. Basically, because our under 18s are naff, we need to bring in ones that are being released. So you saw this guy in the last video, which is Fabrizio Angeleri. We bit the bullet and went, you know what, it's he passes the work permit registration. He's a good left back. Um, he'll fit in the squad quite nicely. Can play a couple of positions up and down that left hand side, and we'll probably be moving a few people on in the summer. Played in Argentina all his career, but I think he's going to be a decent little buy. Next up, you might have seen it. The eagle-eyed amongst you will see Sandro Tonali is actually joining on a free transfer. Um, I'm so surprised that Milan didn't activate his buyout clause at the start of this. Look, he had a really good season in Milan. Went to Brescia, back down the division, and is having just as good a season. But yeah, he was out of contract. He's going to be joining on 70 grand a week. He's basically everything that we need. If we compare him with Leighton, basically all it means is that we'll be loaning Clarkson out. Um, yeah, if you have a little look, attribute wise, he's a lot better. Statistically, he's probably not as good in terms of what he does, but he is playing for a team that are in a worse division than us. So he's not got the best players around him to be able to play the type of football that they want to play potentially. The report wise, the only cons were his finishing, which is fine because he's just going to sit. Language, he's attempting to learn it before he joins in. Peripheral in the squad, but everything else is brilliant. Um, he's just overall a better player. If we highlight for DLP on defend, 16 to 15, 15 to 14. His tackling's not as good, but his technique's a lot better. Um, his anticipation's a lot higher. His composure is the same. Decisions is higher. Determination's a lot higher. Position and teamwork is a lot higher than Leighton's. And his vision is only one off. To be fair, Clarkson's really he's a good technical player, but his work rate's better as well. And physically, he's also better. So he's coming in. Can we see how much it's going to be? What his contract he's accepted? I don't think we can. I don't we. Yeah, here we go. So, oh, is he only accepted 35? Oh no, existing contract. Oh no, that's his current contract. We can't see it. It's about 72 grand a week he's going to be on, which is massive compared to the rest of the squad. But you know, he's a well-known wonder kid on the game. Statistically, he performs well every time he plays. So he's come in. And then the next transfer we had in was we brought in a new right back to provide competition for Sofian, and it was Reggie Cannon. The American right back was playing for Boa Vista over in Portugal, and he actually qualified for a work permit. If we drop his report, he does count towards the foreign players, but he's decent. You know, he's a good drag back. Let's compare him with Sofian. Sofian is still the starter. It was just more so he needed um, a bit, just a bit of competition. You can see he's probably more rounded than Soft, but Soft's better going forward. Um, Statistically, he's only played 2 games here. Don't forget, but obviously for Boa Vista, he performed quite well. Uh, he's just he's just decent. Like he's nothing major. You can see he was performing okay, but nothing spectacular. So you know we brought him in, and he's done okay. He's done okay. Um, Other than that, have we had any going out? I think we might have had a couple off the top of my head. Let's see. Yeah, Luca van der Gaag was the last one you seen go out. Sandro Semedo went out. Hamar went out. We sold Davis Soglu for potentially 7.5 million to Palace. He didn't play. It was 7.5 million coming in. I can't really moan. Sorensen went out to get the game time after his injury. And he seems to be performing okay. He was not going to be a starter because of the players we've got. And Mads Rosalev went out for £1 million. So you can see we brought in a total of 66 million this season, transfer wise, and we only spent a total of 29. That's roughly a net spend of about 16 million profit back from that. And arguably, we've got better players in. Gibbs White left, as has Diallo. We didn't play them; they were literally just brought in to sort of to bolster the squad. But then we sort of got the players in that we wanted. And now this is how we line up. We changed the tactics slightly. Um, what I did notice alongside us not really creating much was that the opposition just seemed keen to let us have the ball because we weren't creating much. So we are now playing a more cautious style. Um, we are still pushing high and pressing them urgently, but the idea is once we've won it back, we counter quite quickly. If you look what Cautious says, it's best employed for matches where you expect to lose the battle for possession, but feel you can break with some regularity. We've got some very fast players, some very technical players who can hit a quick pass. Um, and catch teams out with the pace. It keeps men behind the ball when defending, but provides quick support to the attacking players when the ball is in the final third. So the fullbacks get forward, the wingers get forward. Jensen is now playing as a mezzala rather than an advanced playmaker. This will stop him getting into the box. He'll sort of just sit around these areas and ping balls in. Cook is up and down like the box to box. So it's sort of, yeah, it's more direct. We're still passing into the space. It's a much higher tempo, we're playing a bit wider as well, and let's take that off. We don't want the overlaps. Um, yeah, it's just a lot more straightforward. There's a lot more get the ball and run, basically. But just to see how we've got on, the last time we left you, I believe, was in January for the Villa and the Norwich games. I can't remember. I last recorded on Monday. But you can see we went on a dreadful run. Dreadful. We lost in the EFL League Cup semi-final second leg, but we got to the final and got pumped by Man United. The Leeds game was the only game, and the Fulham game, we managed to sneak a 1-0 win, but we didn't deserve that. It was a penalty. Um, it was the only game we managed to score goals in since the Burnley game in January. And once again, Brian and Mbeumo scored against me because he's just going to pop up every time now, isn't he? And then we changed the tactics slightly. You can see Force and Tony played in that match. We went to like a 4-1-2-1-2 formation, a bit more narrow, and we hit them on the counter in the last minute to equalise, which led me to think, maybe we'll start going a bit more counter-attacking. We again went with the 4-1-2-1-2. We scored 3 but conceded 2. Next game played it again, scored 3, conceded 2. And then we changed it to the formation that you've just seen for the Brighton game. For the we won 3-1. Everton scored 3 goals, conceded 4. Richarlison was just unplayable, nothing it did. I was telling people to track him, I was telling people to tackle him, nothing. And then obviously Man United just OP as anything. We've got a hard running. It's the end of the season now, but we've got Chelsea, Arsenal, and Aston Villa. I think if we can pick up points between the Chelsea and Arsenal games, that'll pretty much secure us Europa League. You can see there's only 3 points between us and 7th and 5 points between us and 8th. So we really need to pick points up within these remaining games. I mean, if we do fail to at least get points in these games, but I feel A, we're at home, and B, we're playing counter attack when both teams will try and press us forwards. I feel like we can catch these guys out. It's more so like Villa, Newcastle, Wolves that are going to be the issue with teams who potentially might want to play the similar way that we want to do. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one because I'm not really sure where the squad sort of is. Um, we've got a good team. We've got a good balance in the squad. The tactic we've had to tweak slightly, but I'm just not sure on where we go from here. If we do get Europe, we can obviously attract better quality of players, but I feel like it's too early for us to get Europe. I feel it's a bit like I've mentioned it in a previous video when Burnley got Europe a couple of years ago, and they just got walloped in the league and nearly got relegated. I feel that might be us. Um, I was more than happy to just do a consolidation season and just stay up and sort of bank the money. I think we've made 50 million profit this year. That's with transfers and obviously with the telly money. I think that the finances are up to 65 million now. And we're going to use that to invest in our recently opened youth facilities. We also got our first youth intake in, and you will be very, very happy to know that the saying, you can never win anything with kids. Yeah, we're never going to win anything with these kids because they are all absolutely shite. They think the best one is Roy Gordon. He is an unambitious centre back who can't header, who can't tackle, and can't mark. So yeah, the highest potential is this Kwame Azare. Again, technically he's decent. Mentally he's terrible. Kevin Saunders, we're just going to go through the list. He looks okay for a 16-year-old, but again, his mentals are shocking. Nathaniel Antwi looks decent. He's a right-footed, left-sided player, which obviously suits what we try and do. But physically, he's just terrible. They're just not going to do anything. There's just no one, which is obviously why we bring in the guys from like United, Chelsea, teams like that when they release their youth players. I'll just show you the guys who we are bringing in. I feel there's a couple who could potentially end up being first teamers. We've got Gustav Lilienberg. He's coming in from Southampton. He's a Swedish goalkeeper. You can see mentally he's decent for his age. Technically he's okay. He can definitely improve. We brought in another keeper, Josh McNamara, who's a bit better and probably got a bit of a higher ceiling, so that's great. And then there's two centre backs here that I'm quite happy with. There's Shay Charles. He is a Northern Irish centre back. We're getting him from Manchester City. You can see he's very technical for a centre back, but he's quite slow. Um, I feel like give him a couple of years developing, and he'd actually be solid. Like he's on the average mark for Premier League starting. Reece Bennett's another one. He's more of a physical player than he is technical. The only problem is he's got too determination. He's coming in from Man United. I feel like we can coach that out of him with the squad. Next up coming in, we've got Kaylon Hazeman, who's coming in from Tottenham. You can just see he's just a bit of a physical beast. I think he could probably play centre back better than midfield positions, but he does have 9 finishing, so I'm tempted to train him as like the box to box and sort of like a Shandon Baptiste mould. Ollie Turner is also coming in from Tottenham. He's another young midfielder, mentally very good. Technically, he's decent. He can't really tackle, but he can get forward as well. I'm thinking maybe like a Metzala if we can flip it to the left hand side, and then this guy Harvey Ward from Southampton. Um, he's got really good determination, good teamwork, good work rate, good aggression, quite physical. Um, his his technicals aren't amazing, but for 18 years of age, I feel like if we train him for a couple of years and these go up, if you push these up sort of like twos, threes, and we sort of really double down on like his dribbling and whatnot, he could actually be like a decent squad player. He's never going to be a starter from what I can tell, but he could be a decent little squad player. Um, yeah, it's these type of players that we've got to try and find and coach, because obviously our youth academy is never going to be brilliant. I'm not personally going to invest in them. I'll definitely do the training facilities, but I'm not really bothered about the youth facilities. Um, I think they're on like limited or basic. I'm not sure. I might ask for better training facilities because that just means the players can train better. Um, yeah, look, improve the youth facilities. So they're still in the middle of doing it. I didn't get any say in it. Um, that's due to end at the end of next season. Facilities, improve training. They'll let us know. Um, should we do a trial day? Let's try and do a trial day and see who they bring back. Yeah, there's quite a bit of work that needs to go on. They upgraded the scouting range so we can now scout worldwide, which will obviously help us in the long run and identifying those undervalued players. So I've had to sort of rejig the scouts about and see who they come back with. They've not brought back anyone significant just yet, but I feel like there's probably people hidden away within the data, so we need to have a little look into that ourselves as we do with the scatter graphs. See who we can come back with, and yeah, I'm gonna leave you there. We're gonna do a bit of background prep for this Chelsea game, and hopefully we can pick up a result. We've done Chelsea over twice now. We did them in the Carabao and we did them 1-0 in the league, and both times they absolutely pumped us in terms of like chances created and shots and whatnot. Which is I think why this counter attacking is probably going to be best for us. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll catch you at the Chelsea game. Yeah, just had the analysis coming back in for the game. So Chelsea outperformed for goals, expected goals. You can see the lot per game. So just looking up at the scatter graphs, they've got Chelsea down as being quite wasteful, but they're quite aggressive with it. Whereas we're quite clinical, but we're passive. We don't get many shots off. Defensive wise, Chelsea are quiet and impenetrable. but we are busy and impenetrable. That might be down to the nature of us, how we were playing, sort of on the front foot in like a positive mentality and getting done on counter attacks. And now we're not necessarily playing on the front foot. The players will be a bit more reserved in what they do. But then obviously they look to hit as soon as they get the ball. So hopefully that sort of that coaches us out of that stat. Right, so the Chelsea game now. You can see Villa won their game yesterday, which means that a point or more will take us back above them. Everton still 2 points behind. Brighton won their game. They're 2 points behind. Burnley are coming into the equation. Yeah, it's, it's all getting a bit much. So we're gonna let's see. This is what we're going with. Due to the injury to Clarkson, Cook is going to play deeper. Hadjanovic will play as the Metzala and Jensen as the centre mid, and see if we can be a bit more effective in these half spaces. We're still going to play cautious. We're going to tell Fosu and Kanyos to track back on the wingers. Mark specific player Nelson Semedo. Mark specific player Ben Chilwell. Because Chelsea's fullbacks are definitely going to try to push forward opposition instructions. We definitely need to press a few of these guys. Definitely have it playing in the centre midfield role there, and definitely Mount. I think we should tight mark Abraham as well, because we've seen him. He scored headers against us before. And yeah, I'm happy with that. Ben Whiteman comes into the bench as just Joe Roth. Do we need Ben Whiteman? No, we don't need Ben Whiteman. Let's get Force on there in case we have to go to the 4-1-2-1-2. Hit them a bit more on the counter. I'm still not entirely sure on what to do with the striking situation. We just don't create enough. That's the problem. Like, I don't know whether it's anything to do with the strikers or anything like that, and I just don't know. I don't think it's their attributes, their ability. We just don't seem to make enough, and it's just getting a bit. I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard to judge. Media's giving you a lot of credit, and we're not going to speak to the media because I absolutely hate doing that. Yeah, tough one. I'll be happy with the points because it'll take us back above Villa, but I think we need to. If we don't get anything out of this, we definitely need to get something out of the Arsenal game, and then we actually play Villa after that. So it's in our hands, really. That's the thing. It's too close to call. We've got a nice early corner, which Matthias Jensen will take, and it's over the bar from Ivan Toney. He's been man marked by Chilwell, which is a bit strange. I'm not sure why Chilwell's man marking, but I'm not going to complain because if it gets us chances, then happy days. You can see it's exactly how we thought it would pan out. Possession-wise, Chelsea are keeping the ball a lot more, which is why we've gone to this counter-attacking system, because teams were doing that to us. They were letting us have all the ball, and we can't break teams down. We just have to try and counter and draw them out a little bit. Fosu's not been great since coming back from the AFCON as well. It's a bit concerning. The fullback ratings are just knackered on this. Like, Soft gets like a 6.4 every game, but then you look at his statistics and he's actually class. Like, he makes so many tackles, so many good passes. It's really frustrating. It's fine. We'll ignore that. Zuma looks to be having a game. I don't know whether that's tackling wise or whatnot. Other than that, looks like we're definitely nullifying Semedo. Chilwell's getting a bit better of it against Canos there. See, most of our attacks are coming down the flanks, and Chelsea's is all very even. Correa's smashed it away. It's going to be picked up by Rico Henry. Ethan Pinnock, Lewis Koch, Sorokin. Out to Canos. Back to Lewis Koch. We're going to pass ourselves into trouble here. Pinnock. Fosu. He's cutting in now. He's driving into that space that's been left. And yeah, I just don't know. So, Trinovic is playing shite again. Oh, I don't know. He was literally brought in to be just the one that sorted it for us, and he just can't. It's so frustrating. Oh, an inverted winger. And I don't want to change from like the Metzala centre mid combo because it's been working. Just because Hadjinovic is playing awful, I don't really want to change the team. I'd rather just change him. We have got Baptiste on the bench who can play the DLP and put Cook into the centre mid role. But look how bad he's playing. There's some of them playing so bad. Fosu. Oh, he scored! Oh, he squeezed that in. It's an own goal. But do you know what? He's not been playing well. Even that there, like, I know he's got his shot away. Tell me as a football fan you didn't want to see him pass this ball there. Because there's men available. It's a poor shot. It's hit Zuma and gone in. But again, I'm not going to complain. Somehow taking the lead. We've completely nullified Chilwell, which means Correa's not getting into it. Semedo's done nothing. Leao is being... I don't know, the defence seems to be having a good game. Raya looks like he's had to make a few saves because they've had a few shots on target. We're not winning the battle for possession, which is a bit weird. Well, that's fine. That's okay. We might drop the tempo. We're happy with that. We might drop the tempo, but up the directness of the passing. Because the tempo sort of just how quickly they turn around to get it up the field, whereas the directness is obviously how the passes come in. If we do it to more direct and just higher, and then we put this just to standard, because we did seem to be focusing too much on the flanks. Hadrinovic has been awful, so Cook's gonna come up the pitch. Hadrinovic will come out. Shandon Baptiste will go in there, which means Cook can go back to the centre mid, and Jensen, although he has played very well, is just a central midfielder on support. I didn't mean that. He's going to go to Metzala, I think, because he's the one who creates. I'm so good that Harris just isn't performing because the first couple of games he looked real good. He looked like a really good player. You know, we dropped Tony to plays like a deep lying forward to sort of collect the ball when it's played up front quickly. There's Kai Havertz. Kovacic. Yeah, it's a good tackle. Go on, Tony. Oh, that's what we want him. We want him pressing, but we don't want him being as a pressing forward because then he sort of just like looks to break through the line. We kind of want him like on that halfway line and just getting at the defenders. Can we change him to close down? No, that's fine. If they changed anything up, it doesn't look like a Havertz is an advanced playmaker now rather than an attacking mid. Semedo gets a pot shot off. That's good. That's fine. That's fine, Sergio Canos. You're playing well. You can keep getting dragged out of the position, mate. I feel like we just give Tony until like the 65th, 70th, and then if we bring if we bring Kremenchik on just to run them ragged a little bit. Kanyos isn't having the best of games. We could potentially put Rothwell in there. So they've got more attacking now. This sort of plays into what we want to do. So we should now. They've brought Abraham on. Leao's gone out wide. Havertz has gone off. I don't know about that, I thought he was playing okay. Even Kanyos is playing well. Okay, we're going to bring Tony off. We're going to bring Kremenchik in, but as a pressing forward. And we're going to put him on defend. That's not to say that he's going to be defensive. It just means he's going to sit a little bit deeper and sort of press around the halfway line, and he's not going to try and do the work himself. Basically, he'll pass it off to the others and then try and get into the middle, sort of like a target man, but a bit more mobile. And we've also got Rothwell, who can come in if need be. Defenders seem okay. We've got Fally Candy, Jason Kerr, and Reggie Cannon, but they're playing well. So it's more Cook and Kanyos that I'm worried about. We're just gonna slow it down. We're gonna waste time a bit. Do we bring Cook off? We know Rothwell can play there. Yeah, okay, let's bring Rothwell in. He will be the Metzala, and then Jensen can drop back to central midfielder. I'll go from there. Hopefully I don't get any injuries or anything now. Like the good old FM days where you make 3 subs and instantly get an injury or a red card. And they're doing okay. Kovacic and Kante getting a lot more of it now, which is concerning. But I think Rothwell, because he's got the pace, he can get in amongst it a bit more. We're gonna bump this up to frequently. But it's our throw in Rothwell. Henry back to Joe Rothwell. Smash that, lad! Oh! Jensen's corner. Can we nick another one and kill the game? Nice, Fosu. Good tackle by Abraham. That's fine though. I mean, it's been quite an even game. They seem to think we've had the better of it, but we've committed a lot of fouls. But that's fine. It slows their play down. They're a much better team than us. I'm happy with that. Semedo was now on a 6.1, so Fosu has absolutely done a job on him, despite him only being on a 6.7 rating. It would actually be quite interesting to see his defensive stats after this. Semedo to Kovacic. Oh no. Oh, it's a good tackle by Rico Henry. And we're decent off corners, but they've got height. Mount's corner. Away by Joe Rothwell. Good defending, lad. And he's got it well away as well. It's not just back into the area. Oh, it could be a big win. This should be 3 wins out of 3 against Frank, Please, Mr. Lampard. Please, Mr. Abramovich. If that's it, 94th. Come on. Kremenchik's dropping back there. Look at this, by Kremenchik. Oh, he's won. Oh, Michael Kremenchik. He got back there and he made that tackle. Yeah, mate. I just want to look at the player statistics. I just want to see how many tackles Fosu made. Tariq Fosu, 83% successful. And he completed 4 dribbles. And I'm like, yeah, he had Semedo in his back pocket. defence, look at that. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Yeah, open arms in praise. The defence were absolutely sensational there. That's well marshalled. I think that's another thing that we're going to have to start bringing in is a lot of teams use their fullbacks as obviously they do in real life. So if we get our wingers to drop back, then that's quite good. What we probably need to start looking at then is wingers with really high work rate and like really high natural fitness, so they can keep going all game basically. Send the assistant, and Soft's nearly made 50 appearances, man. One away, and we only in 200k, and I think that's the last of his transfer fee. What a man. So they're actually saying now current ability-wise, star-wise, he's dropped down. I don't think that's true. I think he's performing as well as he always has. He actually completes more dribbles per game than he did last season. His fouls are a lot higher. He's had a lot more shots on target. His tackle rate is higher. Yeah, I don't know what they're chatting there. They're chatting a bit of wham. But yeah, like that's a good win. We've done Frank over again. He does not have an answer for us, Frank Lampard. But I'm more than happy with that. To be honest with you, lads, more than happy. Looks like this cautious approach is doing bits for us at the minute. I mean, obviously we've still lost games to the likes like Man United and whatnot, but we're still creating the chances and we're still getting in and amongst it. So I was just thinking about maybe putting Soft to attack, but he's still performing quite well. But yeah, if you look at the likes like Fosu, his work rate is 9, and Kanyos as well. I don't think his work rate is fantastic either. To be fair, 14 it is good, yeah. Yeah, I think maybe that's the area we'll look for in the summer is to bring in wingers who have got very high work rate. I think Joe is quite good work rate wise as well, 11, so he's a bit better than Fosu. And yeah, the next time we join, it'll probably be the summer transfer window, just after the season's ended, because we'll obviously look at the positions then and we can evaluate it. Once the new season starts, we can't look at last season's stats, which is a shame. But it's not going to be a massive overhaul like it was this year. This year was more about getting a squad together that can compete in the Premier League. I think we've proven we've done that. Next season we've got Tonali coming in, so I think that DM role is now a world-class talent in there, which is massive, especially if we get Europa League. I say it's more keeping the core of the team, and then maybe just getting in a few guys here and there who can contribute a bit more. I'm still happy with the strikers. Kremenchuk has only scored 5, but I'm still happy with him. He's still performing quite well. It's just more so because we're not creating enough, and I think that is just down to this triangle in the middle needs working out essentially. But yeah, lads, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, please like the video. It lets me know that you're actually enjoying it. And share it about. Do what you must. Pop a little subscribe on. Pop the notification bell on if you want to know when these videos are getting uploaded. And as always, take care.